Hayabusa kit from Cyclops. This is your low beam. It has what looks like a traditional double prong plug that plugs into the genuine Suzuki adapter for your traditional halogen bulb. Alright, so after fighting with this for quite a bit and thinking I had to take the entire front fairing off, I decided to try a few different attempts, and during my attempts it actually came apart. Now it's actually supposed to come apart. It's not very clear in the instructions because they're using instructions for a Kawasaki Versys, and during the assembly you can see the little bearing with the detent spring and the detent holes. When it's assembled like this onto the unit, it doesn't look like it's supposed to come apart. It actually did come apart, so all of this will actually go in the housing first. You will lock your spring on, and then this will insert easier. So just a little bit of a headache. Alright, so we're looking at the spring tabs that hold the headlight in. The upper one that looks like a J can be left alone at this time. The lower one that has about a 15-degree kick, you need to grab with a pair of needle nose pliers and bend it some additional until you get fitment. Okay, so there's the base portion installed in the low beam. The high beam is installed. I'll turn it on for you guys. You hear the fan activate. Alright, so the new LED bulb is in. It is amazingly bright. It is polarity sensitive. Do not worry if you plug it in incorrectly. It will not burn the bulb up according to Cyclops instructions. They said simply unplug and reverse your plug. So before I pushed it in all the way, I went ahead and checked polarity and plugged it in. And there we have it. Now, what I want to point out, you need to make sure that the LEDs in there are pointing to the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock position. That way they reflect properly out of the headlamp. They do not want you pointing them at 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Alright, so the next part is trimming of the rubber boot. This is the inner piece of the Stanley rubber weather boot that has some grip teeth on it that would grip the traditional halogen bulb. You will have to trim exactly 2 inches across, and it's got a nice little fold. I just used a razor knife and went all the way around, and that is your heat sink for your new LED bulb. Well, the high beam is definitely much easier to drop in. It literally is just plug and play. It is considerably brighter. You can actually hear its fan. It draws less power. It's 38 watts. The bulb it replaced is 65 watts. And for final wire strapping, there is a nice little hole right here in the fairing support behind the gauges. I use a black UV tie wrap. You can use a white tie wrap, it doesn't matter. And I secure the high beam and low beam cables there snugly, not too tight because you don't want to damage your cables, but you just want to hold them in place. Low beam plug is right here. And down here on the ram air duct, trying to get there for you guys, is where I Velcro in place the ballast for the LED high beam. That's low beam, high beam, and low beam on. Alright, final thoughts for the Cyclops system. Definitely first class equipment, put together very well. Instructions do need to be improved. They take the Kawasaki Versys and KLR instructions and photos of that headlamp assembly, and it's a bit misleading. It added to some additional time and some confusion on my part, but hopefully with this video that you guys don't have the same mistake that I had. I'll reach out to Cyclops in an email and share this video with them and see what they think about probably taking some photos, maybe getting a volunteer bike up there and making some better instructions for the public. The system is really bright. I did make some nighttime shots of the high beam. Unfortunately, I did not know that my low beam was actually out until last night when I rolled the bike out while it was stopped to get some before and after video so we could see what it looked like. I didn't have an extra low beam bulb around, so unfortunately we have nothing on video to compare the low beam to the LED low beam. We do have the high beam, however, so I'll share that with you guys. Time, I'd probably say taking your time with nobody interrupting, probably right about an hour to do the install. You'll remove the two upper panels here, your gauges, and it does help to have the lower air deflector off as well. It just gives you a little bit more light, a little bit more room to work with, but that's not necessary. You could do it all from the top. Other than that, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoy this and have a good day.